So I appreciate I haven't really been doing much by way of diary entries up on YouTube the past few weeks. I think it was the beginning of June I did my last entry, and it's multiple reasons really. I've increased my hours at work, so getting up here has been really difficult because it's about a 15-minute drive from home. So it's been tricky getting up here. The weather's been atrocious, and on the bright side I have had some really nice events. I've been on holiday and I've had one of my son's 21st birthday, and we've had a graduation, we've had an 80th birthday, and so we've had an awful lot going on. So I'm hardly getting up here, just enough to kind of weed and water, but not enough time to make and edit any little diary entries. So apologies for that. I am going to try and get back on it, but it definitely won't be weekly for a while because I just don't have the time to do it. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how it has all been going. Some things are a really good success, other things are a complete disaster. Anyway, let's give you a quick little tour of what we've got. So this is how it's looking mid-July, actually the end of July already, isn't it? And so some tomatoes are planted outside. They are struggling, those guys. Not really the weather for them, but they finally got some little flowers, possibly too late. The gooseberry bush has been ravaged by the wind, it's so exposed. The strawberries looking happy though. My raspberry canes I put in are doing quite well. This one's really battered, but I have been getting quite a few little handfuls of raspberries off of that one. And the rhubarb that Delilah was intent on destroying earlier in the year, she kept flattening it and trampling it in. It's sprung back really well. It's really looking happy. Now, I tried two different types of carrots just in one of the little raised beds that I made, and it's funny, some have germinated, the other half didn't at all, so I don't think I'll be dining out on carrots too much this year. There you go, a 50-50 split. So the left side, I've got a few, probably going to get like 6 carrots out of that, but my nasturtiums are lovely, and I'm all about the flowers anyway. So up until last week we had basil growing there and some sweet peppers, but the slugs have enjoyed those. So the onions did really well. I've got masses going on. It's funny how some went to flower and some didn't. So the red onions, they've all produced flowers, which I absolutely love. I'll just pull them and eat them. I'll eat the edible bits, leave the ones that aren't. I'm going to just leave the flowers to bloom. I've been using them in little flower bouquets. They look fabulous. The brown onions haven't put any flowers out at all, so I'm just going to hold on to them until they're, well, I probably could harvest them now, but I'll wait till a drier day if one comes. And then these white snowball ones, again, they all went to flower, but aren't they gorgeous? Now, I think the last video that I did, I was creating a flower bed because, as I've said before, I'm more interested in flowers than vegetables. Fruit comes second only to flowers. And so that has been, well, that's been the most successful thing. Whether they just know I love them more, I don't know, but my flower bed's actually doing quite well. Of course, on a grey day like this, the things that can close will close. But what I've got going on, I appreciate it's all a bit crowded, but I've got my sweet peas are starting to come out. I've got lots of straw flowers. I love their crazy texture. So we've got these. They were all opened and crunchy the other day, but they seem to have closed up again. My snapdragons are in amongst there. They're doing really well. Look, my dahlia. I think that's a totally tangerine. More straw flowers that are hiding from the rain. At the back there's straw flowers. I don't know which dahlia is which, but I've got lots of little buds on this one, so I can't wait for that to come out. I've got another great big dahlia at the back. That's celosia, but it's going to be far too cold, I think. Look at this beautiful little girl. I mean, how gorgeous is that? I'm actually going to pick that. I hate to do it, but if I pick it, I'll get more, hopefully. Or maybe I'll just wait for the other ones to open a little bit, but I'm going to cut that one imminently and take it home. I've got tomatoes mixed in with everything, and these ones seem to be happy outside. Look at this one. Isn't it gorgeous? I think that one's called Lilac Bull, but my God, look at the damage from the darn slugs. Another little dahlia there, seems to be struggling on, avoiding slug damage. This is the only beetroot that has survived slugs so far. I'm going to have to pull those out before they get eaten. And again, we've got more dahlias. And we've got snapdragons and straw flowers. There's sweet peas in amongst it all as well. But yeah, everything that should be blooming isn't because it's so darn cold. So one of the things I was most excited about growing is I got some zinnias and dahlias and celosia from Floret Flower Farm. They're available for the first time in the UK this year, and I was so excited when I got them. It was a little bit late, I think, to sow them from seed because they came quite late in May. But anyway, I carried on, thought I'd give it a go. So sowed them. They've been, where are we now? That's got to be at least 8 weeks. These poor little flowers, they are just sitting and sulking. They are not loving the climate here. So I've put my zinnia seedlings. This is the bed I had potatoes in. That was a big success. We got loads of Charlotte potatoes, pulled them all up a couple, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. But they've been really nice. And these are my zinnias. So I've never grown them before. I don't know how big they should be by now. But some of them are doing really well, I think. Don't know how big they should be, but I can see everyone else has got them blossoming right now. Mine aren't. Still got my little snapdragons in the middle, and then there's another row there. But well, Erin at Floret Flower Farm, I'm not sure that your zinnias are coping very well with a very cold, wet July in England. I am crossing my fingers. Next year we're going to have a warmer season. I'm going to sow them earlier, and yeah, hopefully I'm going to get some nice blooms to cut. I'm going to keep holding out that we're going to get some nice weather and that these little ones are going to catch up. So fingers crossed, we're going to see something spectacular. I'm really excited. They're called Precious Metals and they're absolutely beautiful. So have a look at Floret Flower Farm. They've got some stunning flowers, and yeah, you can get them now in the UK. Highly recommend it for those of you that love your flowers. So those of you that have been watching anyone's videos or social media from the UK will know we've had an absolute shocking year for slugs. I'm going to share with you now my greatest failure. It's absolutely beyond belief, and I've completely given up with this one. Any type of brassica that I've put in has been stripped. I've stopped bothering with any succession sowing. There is just no point. It all just gets absolutely massacred. You are going to love this next bed. Look at these beauties. Somebody is definitely getting their vitamin C and their iron from all of the kale that we planted. I can confirm it's not us. We aren't eating any of it. There's a lovely lonely bit of chard that seems to be dodging the damage. I think at the back I might have put sprouts. Don't know, just got pegs, don't have plants. That looks like it tried and gave up. Yeah, don't even remember what it was, but the slugs have obviously enjoyed it, and look at that one. It got quite big. It provided quite the feast. Happy to report Mr. Charles Dowding's perennial kale at the back is hanging tough. I'm probably gonna have to come up and put some more defences around that one, but he's hanging in there for now. We are getting peppers, so we're going to get some spicy things. They're doing quite well. Another one there. At the back is basil, but something's enjoying that. Nice flowers though. And this little beastie is my aubergine. Now I'm getting flowers, but no fruit yet. So there's today's haul. The onions look pretty good. The beetroots, I think 2 of them have been eaten by maggots, but that's okay. 2 for them, 1 for me. Cucumber, some not many raspberries, but look, I got a very nice bouquet which will go on the kitchen table. Happy days. So we've got a terrible year for slugs. They've eaten everything, and I'm not going to fight that battle. The things that are growing well, I'm enjoying. The things that have been massacred, I'm just letting the slugs get on with it. What's worrying me is the lack of flying insects. It's so cold and damp. I've barely seen a butterfly, hardly any bees, and that's a worry. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing the butterflies because the slugs have eaten everything, so there's no cabbage whites around. But there's hardly anything out here. It's really quite worrying. I don't know what it's like where you live, but have you noticed a decline in insects? Because it's quite alarming here. It makes me worry for next year, for all the birds and everything that depends on them. Yeah, it's a bit of a worrying time really, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some warm weather, because on the warm days they do all come out. You see more, but nowhere near as many as last year. So yeah, let me know how it is where you live. I've had the increase in work hours. It's become really difficult now. Sometimes there's a silver lining. I've just been offered an allotment in the village where I live, so this will be within walking distance of my house, which would be phenomenal, because like I say, it's 15 minutes to drive here and back. That's half an hour I could be spending doing jobs on the allotment. So it's a bit of a heavy heart, but I'm going to let this plot go at the end of my tenancy, which will be October, November. I'm a little bit gutted because I've hauled literally a ton of wood chip, horse poo, compost up here. I've put in quite a lot of work. I don't know if you've watched my videos, but there's been quite a lot of effort going into getting the plot looking like this, but I am going to let it go. I've learned so much up here, what I'm going to do again, the things I'm not going to repeat. So once I get going on that plot, I will try and start keeping a little video for that one. It's beautiful. The location is not as beautiful as this, so we don't have these stunning views, but if you peep over the hedge, the views are still there. You can still see the hills back there. So anyway, I will, in the next few weeks, I'll get down there, start putting some work in, and I will film that for you. So for a while I'm going to have two plots to sort out, even though I don't have time for one right now. But it'll all be fine. There's always time. You'll always find time. Anyhow, that's my little update for this week. Sorry it's been so long. All in all, not bad. I think it's come up quite nice. I'll try and do a before and after of when I started and what it looks like now. I'll get that maybe next week. Anyway, thank you for checking in. Wonderful Ali from Canada. She was a little worried that I hadn't been on for a few weeks and messaged me. You're so kind and lovely. It's a lovely little community. Thanks for checking in. It's just lovely. It means a lot. Anyway, you all have a good week.